Hello guys, Quasar D Games here, and before we get into the video, I want to warn you there are some really weird hiccups that happened when I was editing the video, and some parts sound weird because of how stuff got cut. I don't remember cutting it like that, but apparently I did, and now it's really messed up. So I hope you guys try to enjoy what is there, and with the next 358 2 days and recoded videos, it's not like that. So yeah, all right, enjoy the video, everybody. I can finally talk about the greatest action RPG of all time. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. I love this game, man. From the gameplay mechanics, story, cast, and extras, there's so much to love about this game. Alright, so where do we start? Well, let's start at the story this time. Taking place a year after Chain of Memories, we are introduced to a blonde-haired boy named Roxas. We take control of him instead of Sora. Weird. Well, anyway, Roxas and his friends, Hayner, Pence, and Olette, are blamed for photos being stolen around town, even as far as being accused of stealing the word. They go to confront the group blaming them, Cypher and his boys from Final Fantasy VIII. Roxas gets into a fight with them. After that, the real thieves show up. Some funky looking dudes. Roxas chases it down to the mansion, and it attacks him. As he's struggling to get an upper hand, he gains a keyblade. He's able to defeat the thieves and get back the photos and the word. That night, he has dreams of a boy named Sora. The next day, he meets a strange girl named Namine, who frees his time to speak to him. Later, he goes down to the Sandlot, where he and Cypher are attacked by the mysterious thieves. During the attack, he falls into a dive of heart. He has to fight a giant monster named the Twilight Thorn. He wakes up, seeming like everything that just happened was a dream. Hayner sees Roxas with Cypher and his crew. He gets upset, so Roxas thinks their friendship is over. After more dreams about Sora that night, the next day Roxas participates in the struggle contest with Hayner. Hayner tells Roxas everything's alright, and that they shouldn't get mad over the little stuff. Things don't go as planned, as Roxas' match with Vivi turns into something else. Turns out Vivi is another one of the thieves. Roxas defeats him, but someone else shows up. Axel. Got it memorized? From Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. He says he has to take Roxas back. They fight, and then a man named Diz shows up, saying Axel speaks nonsense, confusing Roxas even more. Screaming his friends' names, everything goes back to normal. He wins the tournament, and they celebrate on the clock tower. Suddenly, Roxas slips off. We transition to Kairi reminiscing with Self about two boys he used to hang out with. Selfie doesn't remember the other boy that's not Riku, only Kairi does. She gets a headache and falls to the ground, which gets her in contact with the Roxas. Meanwhile, Diz is talking to a man in a black hood. The man in the black hood wonders what's going on. Diz tells him Kairi can communicate with Roxas because of Namine. A couple of days later, he meets Namine again in the mansion. Tells him about his past, what she doesn't believe. She also tells him that he was never supposed to exist, and that he is another half of the boy named Sora. The next day, everything in Twilight Town is frozen, and no one else can hear him. Axel shows up with a bunch of intruders. As he's about to fight Roxas, he gets frozen. He's told to go to the mansion by Diz. When he gets there, he finds out that the world he is in isn't the real Twilight Town, and just made up of data. He heads into the basement, destroys the computer. As he heads deeper, he runs into Axel again. He remembers Axel this time, but it's too late. They have to have one final battle. Axel's defeated, and Roxas makes his way to the pod where Sora is. He finally joins back with Sora as his summer vacation has ended. Sora, Donald, and Goofy finally awaken from their slumber. They don't remember anything from Chain of Memories. All they have left in their journal is thank Namine. They head outside the mansion where they meet the real Hayner, Pence, and Olette. They tell them that King Mickey is looking for them at the station. The gang heads over but are attacked by a group of mysterious enemies, ones that were after Roxas. Mickey comes in to help and gives them items that were taken from Roxas. A money pouch, and a blue spear. They head up to the train station where they get on the purple train and end up at Yen Sid's tower. They meet Pete, who is now in control of the Heartless, while Maleficent is away. They beat his goons and he runs off. They head up the tower to meet Yen Sid. Yen Sid tells Sora and company that the enemies they fought are nobodies, which is created when your heart and body split, but your soul is strong. While the heartless are your heart consumed by the darkness, unless it's a pure blood heartless, which has no heart. After getting some new gear from the fairies, Sora, Donald, and Goofy head off to face the new threat, Organization 13, and Pete with his Heartless. They start by going to Hollow Bastion to see some familiar faces, Leon, Yuffie, Sid, and Aerith. They finally reclaim their home, but they gotta fix it up a bit. Too bad the reunion ends quickly as the organization shows up. They call Sora Roxas for some reason. After having a long conversation with them, they head off once again to explore Disney Worlds and protect the light. Eventually, things lead the gang back to Twilight Town, where they meet Sayax. Talks about Kairi disappearing. He goes missing after meeting Axel on Destiny Island. After this, they head back to Hollow Bastion, where they meet Cloud, learning he is from here too. Oh, and Tifa. Anyways, they need information on the organization and Ansem. They head to a new area in Hollow Bastion, which is Ansem's office. The main computer of the town is there. They get sucked in and end up in Tron's world. It's not the real Tron's world though, it's a copy created by Ansem. They meet Tron. They are able to get the information that they need to access the DTD data in the PC. They find something strange, an old guy's picture. Mickey calls him Ansem. The others don't believe him, but Mickey gives them proof that this is indeed the real Ansem, and the one they fought was the Heartless of his apprentice Xehanort, taking his name and doing terrible research with it. After they finish their conversation, the town is attacked. They need to go help Leon and the gang. Mickey tells Sora that he needs to go off and find Kairi and Riku instead of helping the people in Hollow Bastion. But of course, Sora can't do that. Ignoring Mickey's orders, he goes to help the Final Fantasy gang. But first, he has to find a member of the organization. One of my favorites, Demix. Sora and the gang defeat him. Mickey confronts them and tells them that, you know what? We should go help everybody else. The Heartless shows up and tries to drop a rock on the gang. Before it can hit Mickey though, Goofy pushes him out the way and takes the blow, dying. Mickey and everyone grieve and say that they will have their revenge. Sora helps Leon and the gang blast through a horde of Heartless into a safe zone. They cry over Goofy, but wait, he's alive. They rejoice and head off to the Great Maw to finish the battle. Mickey notices someone is off in the distance. It's the leader, Xehanort's Nobody. He runs off after Xehanort's Nobody. Sora, Donald, and Goofy, however, fight 1,000 Heartless each. One of the greatest fights in gaming. After this, they catch up with Xehanort's Nobody named Xemnas. Sora asks him about Riku and Kairi. He tells Sora he has no idea about Kairi, but for information on Riku, he should ask his king. Instead of answering the question, Mickey jumps in the portal after him. Axel shows up, telling them the true motivation behind Organization 13. Sayax gets in the way before Sora can ask any more questions, and tells him that they need him to defeat Heartless so they can build their Kingdom Hearts. Sora doesn't want to do that, almost dying from a horde of Heartless, but Maleficent and someone he believes is Riku saves them, while giving them a box of ice cream and a picture. With Roxas and the Twilight Town gang, Sora, Donald, and Goofy go back to fighting the Heartless in each world, knowing that even if it helps the organization, they can't let the worlds fall to darkness. Some organization members are in other worlds too, like Zeldin at Beast Castle. He's there to try to turn Beast into a nobody. He's the second hardest boss in the game. Why is he so hard? Eventually, they're led back to Twilight Town. Something is strange though. There's 2 of them on the world map, and a new city-like world has appeared. In Twilight Town, Hater, Pence, and Olette help Sora find the mansion, as it will help them get to the organization's world. They're ambushed by a bunch of nobodies, but Mickey is back and helps them. He also tells them the truth, that it was Riku that helped them back in Hollow Bastion. They make their way into the mansion and are transported into the data world. There's a gateway there they can use to get to the world of the organization. In the doorway that they go through, they're once again ambushed by a bunch of nobodies. But this time, Axel shows up to help them, turning over a new leaf. He saves Sora, but at the cost of his life. Final words are to tell Sora that Kairi is in the dungeon of the castle. He learns that not all nobodies are bad people. They finally make their way into the nobody's homeworld, the world that never was. On their way to the stronghold, Sora is stopped by a guy in a hood. They fight, and the hooded figure loses. His hood comes off, and it's revealed to be Roxas, telling Sora, "You make a good other," and he fades away. Sora is confused. Donald and Goofy tell him it's probably a trick by the organization, and he says, "You're right," and they go off. While that is happening, Naminé and Riku help Kairi escape. Sora and his friends make their way up to the castle. He meets Sayax once again. He calls him Roxas, saying, "We don't need you anymore." And the last piece they need to complete their Kingdom Hearts is the heart of the Keyblade Bearer. Kairi and Riku show up to make sure that doesn't happen, fighting off Heartless going after Sora. Meanwhile, another member of the organization shows up, named Xigbar, who once again calls Sora Roxas. He also tells Sora he isn't half a Keyblade wielder the other 3 were. Which other 3? Well, I'll talk about that later. Sora thinks he's talking nonsense. They fight, Sora wins, and Xigbar fades away. Sora, before he leaves, Sora asks him, "Why'd you call me Roxas?" He tells Sora, "Wouldn't you like to know?" Meanwhile, Ansem the Wise and Mickey catch up, talking about how the darkness made Riku look like this, saying he did it because no matter what it took, he would do anything to wake up Sora. Xemnas tells Sayax that Kingdom Hearts is finished and that it's time to take care of the people invading his castle. Sora and the gang face off against the final two members that are not Xemnas, Sayax and Luxord. Sayax calls Sora Roxas once more. After their fight, he weeps about not being able to gain a heart from Kingdom Hearts. Riku reveals to Sora that the reason everybody calls him Roxas is because Roxas is his nobody. They make their way up to the castle and run into Ansem the Wise destroying Kingdom Hearts. Xemnas comes down and talks to him about how he failed about learning the way of the heart. Ansem explodes in the light with his machine and it destroys Xemnas' Kingdom Hearts. The light frees Riku of his darkness, turning him back to how he normally is. Xemnas makes his way back up to the top of the castle, and everyone chases after him. They catch up and their final bout finally begins. They best him and his castle, so it's time to go home. Before that though, Naminé and Roxas finally meet again, through Sora and Kairi. Yes, Naminé is Kairi's nobody. She was created after Sora splits his heart in Kingdom Hearts 1, sending every heart inside of him out, which created Naminé, which shouldn't be the case. She is a special nobody, just like Roxas. As everyone's going through the portal, it closes before Sora and Riku can get through. Xemnas wants one final battle. He doesn't think it should end this way. They'll clash with him one last time and defeat him. They're surrounded by a bunch of nobodies. They take them out and then head on to the world of darkness. Stranded there, they talk about how everybody is safe, saying that it doesn't matter if they're stuck there. If the world's made of darkness and light, they'll be the darkness. They sit there, and Sora gets a message from Kairi. The message she sent when she got her memory back of Sora. It opens a doorway to the light, and they make it home. That, my friends, is the story of Kingdom Hearts 2. I feel like I didn't do it enough justice. One of the reasons I love this game so much, and I feel like I could have done a lot better explaining it and putting it out in detail, isn't just a recap video for the story. Talk about other things that make this game very impressive. Boy, the gameplay is so good in this game. Where do I start? The evolution of Kingdom Hearts 1's combat. Things added. I played on critical. Requires you to do more than a lot of people think that the game requires you to do. Most people think that the game is just mash X, which I don't feel is the case. Talk about the first edition, Drive Form. They're the new way to gain a lot of abilities. High jump, glide, air dodge, and dodge roll. Normally get these worlds in Kingdom Hearts 1, but in this game they decided to add it to forms. It sounds annoying, but each form is unique and fun in its own way. They have their own special movement styles and attack style. Valor form is attack only, Wisdom form is magic only, Master form is a combination of both, and Final form is the full ensemble where you're just an enormous powerhouse. Magic comes back, and some new spells are here to take over old spells like Arrow. Reflects the shield-like attack. When enemies attack it, it creates an AoE effect that damages them. Magnet brings all the enemies in so you can unleash a barrage of spells or attacks on them. Fire and Thunder have also been improved. Only spell I feel that got worse is Blizzard. Doesn't spread like it used to. Another improvement from KH1, camera. Sora is more centered in the screen and the camera is zoomed out, so it doesn't feel like you're too claustrophobic and can't see anything. One thing I feel KH2 does not improve on KH1 is level design. It's not enough in the worlds to make them feel like you're doing a lot in them. Every world is flat, unlike KH1 where you had platforming challenges. Every world has their own objectives though. That's something that came back from Kingdom Hearts 1. Every world has their own visual unique style and makes it feel like you're going to separate Disney movies. Now, I can't forget the music. The game is a gigantic step up from KH1. KH1 had a great soundtrack, don't get me wrong, but Yoko Shimomura just snapped, my boy. Popped off. Final boss theme, world themes, Roxas's theme. So much good music in this game. I feel she only gets better with each entry. Now, before I leave off, I want to talk about the Final Mix content. Kingdom Hearts 2 as a base game was a good game, but I feel like the Final Mix content made it become one of my favorite games of all time. Get extra cutscenes like Kingdom Hearts 1 gave you. This time they're dubbed over. Extra bosses including story ones like Roxas. The ability to refight every organization member including ones that were not in this game's story. Games that is the Mushroom 13 gathering game and a new drive form which is limit form. New scenes exist to hype up Birth by Sleep as that was the next game in the saga. It also ties into the thing that Zigbar said earlier. The other three Keyblade wielders. They're the ones you're going to be taking control of in Birth by Sleep. And the secret boss, Lingering Will, gives you the new ending. The US version only has a vague ending that is an idea, while Final Mix gives you one that's more meaty. That's really all I have to say about this amazing game. That is Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. Everything here is amazing, and some would say this is the franchise's peak. I loved Kingdom Hearts 2 as a kid, loved Final Mix as a teenager, and I still love it to this day on every playthrough. It's an amazing experience, and I think Nomura and his team really killed it with this one. Thank you guys so much for watching another Remembering Kingdom Hearts video. The next one shouldn't take too long since they're just movies. It's 358 over 2 and Recoded. I'm doing them at the same time. Even though there's some Birth by Sleep stuff in Recoded, it's like, it's okay. I think pretty much everybody at this point knows. Yeah, it shouldn't really matter. So after that, we have Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop. And 0.2 and we're done. That shouldn't be too long because I'm playing Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop on beginner to churn out the videos faster. We only have 20 something days. I don't want to be, you know, stuck at 0.2 like on the day of KH3. So we'll get them out. I'm playing on beginner mode and all that jazz. And starting Friday next week, I guess, Tales of Vesperia playthrough. I hope you guys are ready for that. I know I'm so pumped to do that. And it'll probably bleed into KH3's playthrough, but it's fine because like I don't mind doing them both at the same time. That just means Resident Evil 2 will be delayed. Thank you guys so much for watching the video again. Have a great day and peace from Quasar D Games, everybody.